What's going on, guys? This is Taylor with Pre-War Pickers. I'm hopping on here today to do a pretty fun video. I wanted to do my Mount Rushmore of card backs, and I got this idea about a month ago when I was watching Jason over at Everyday Card Collector. He did a video with Aaron from Value Vintage as well as Orlando from A Collector's Dream. So three guys that I absolutely love watching. And it was just really cool to see all three of their different perspectives and how they rank their Mount Rushmore of card backs. As we all know, there's a ton of advertisement backs on these pre-war card issues, from the tobacco companies, the caramel companies, all different kind of advertisement backs. So it's just cool to see how people rank their Mount Rushmore. So I wanted to hop on here and do mine. It's definitely going to be different than a lot of y'all out there. But that's what makes this fun. So I'm going to get the camera turned around and run through my Mount Rushmore of card backs.
And let's dive right into my Mount Rushmore. Now, I do want to say these are going to be in chronological order. So number 4 is technically going to be my least favorite, I guess you could say, even though I don't even like saying that because I absolutely love all of these card backs. And then number 1 is going to be my favorite back of all time. So without further ado, let's hop right into number 4. Number 4 is going to be the T205 gold border set. This is of Mordecai Brown, of course. But the reason why this card or this back lands a spot on my Mount Rushmore is for a couple different reasons. One, this is the first card that introduced sort of the biography aspect to the back of these cards. So you have a brief biography here of Mordecai Brown. You've got stats from a few different seasons, so 1908, 1909, 1910. And then at the bottom, you still do have the cigarette advertisement, so in this case, Piedmont. But I just think the combination of those three things really makes this a well-rounded and awesome back. And then with there still being the cigarette advertisement at the bottom, that gives you the opportunity to do back runs of any given player. And there are a bunch of backs still covered in this T205 set. A bunch of them that were in the T206 set are in here. So you've got Piedmont, Sweet Cap, Polar Bear, American Beauty, and so on. And then you have a couple of different ones that weren't in the T206 set that are in here, such as the Honest Long Cut and Hassan. So you've got an opportunity to do a bunch of different back runs with whoever your favorite player may be. So with those couple different reasons, that lands the T205 gold border set at my number 4 on the Mount Rushmore. Now coming in at number 3, we have a back that wasn't necessarily on my radar whatsoever until this card got into my collection. Now this is a 1922 E120 of American Caramel of Clarence Hodge. This is part of my hometown minor league team project, and I really didn't know about this back until I got this card, but it quickly landed a spot on my Mount Rushmore. It's very unique in the sense that it's kind of one of a kind, where it features a lineup on the back of the Chicago White Sox in 1922. There's really no other card that I can think of that has sort of a lineup / checklist on the back like that. You've got the Chicago Americans at the top with the White Sox underneath. You've got the manager listed, which was Kid Gleason in this case. And then not only that, with the lineup being on the back, you have several different players represented that aren't necessarily on the front of the card, but guys like Eddie Collins, Hall of Famer, Harry Hooper, Red Faber, Ray Schalk. So not only are you getting the guy on the front, but you're getting some other guys represented on the back, which I think just makes this a really cool card in general. And then you still have the American Caramel Company advertisement at the bottom. So very well-rounded back and a very, very cool back. Coming in at number 3. Now, number 2 and number 1 could flip-flop back and forth. These are my favorite card backs of all time. It was tough to put one at number 2 and the other at number 1, but for the video's sake, we're just going to say that coming in at number 2, we have the T206 Old Mill Southern League back. Now, with me being as big of a Southern League collector as I am, this back instantly stood out to me as soon as I kind of got into the T206s, because I figured out that this back was just exclusive to the players that were in the T206 set that were Southern Leaguers. So it's different than your typical Old Mill back. Only the 48 Southern Leaguers that are in the T206 set can have this back. And I just thought that this back being exclusive to those guys made it really cool. And it also kind of makes it a little bit more scarce too as well. So, and not only that, you've got the different leagues down here spelled out and represented. So the Texas League, South Atlantic, Virginia, and Southern Leagues. So yeah, I always like to collect the Southern Leaguers that I have in my collection. In this case, Ed Foster. I definitely like to make sure that they have the Old Mill Southern League back. Even though the Hindu back is awesome, it's just not as cool in my opinion as this one, if you're as big of a Southern League collector as I am. So that is number 2. And then coming in at number 1, if you watch my videos, you can probably guess what this is going to be. But none other than the T211 Red Suns. Now, these backs, obviously right when you look at them, you're just saying, yeah, I totally agree. And if you were to ask me on any given day, what is the best looking advertisement back of any pre-war baseball card issue, without hesitation, I'm going to say it's the Red Sun back. As many of you know, the backs on a lot of these pre-war card issues are just standard black and white, just text. But with the Red Suns, you get the introduction of some color. And now they use the striking red color with this back, and you've got the awesome imagery of the sun right there. You've got the Made in New Orleans, which is really cool. And again, just kind of like the Old Mill Southern League back, this back is just exclusive to Southern Leaguers, which makes me love it even more. The T211 Red Suns only featured players from the Southern Association, so guys that played on like the Atlanta Crackers or New Orleans Pelicans, Chattanooga Lookouts, and so on. And it says, it's kind of confusing to me. I would like to do more research on it, but at the bottom it says first series 1 to 75, so it makes me wonder if they had the idea to produce more of these, kind of like they did with the T210 Old Mills, where they made 8 different series covering all of the different leagues within the Southern Leagues. But part of me wishes they did, because that means I would get some T211 Red Suns of some Jacksonville guys. But part of me is glad that they didn't, because it makes these backs and these cards in general just super, super scarce. So yeah, that is definitely number 1. This back will probably always be number 1. But yeah, guys, that is my Mount Rushmore of card backs. So you have got number 1, Red Sun. Number 2, Old Mill Southern League back. Number 3, the E120 American Caramel. And rounding it all off with number 4, the T205 Gold Border set. This is subject to change, obviously, with getting more cards in my collection later on down the road, but I don't see this changing for the foreseeable future. These are 4 great advertisement backs and just card backs in general. But yeah, guys, let me know what your Mount Rushmore of card backs is down in the comments below. And shout out to Jason, Everyday Card Collector, for giving me the idea to do this video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like always, stay tuned for the next one. Peace.